Hello and welcome to episode 11 of Zentalk. I'm Greg Fenton and I'm the CEO of Zentek Limited. Today I wanted to touch on a couple of things. One being the commercialization of the Zenguard coated HVAC filters, and one, our announcement from earlier this week about our at-the-market facility that we put in place. So first and foremost, let's talk about Zenguard commercialization. We announced publicly in a press release a number of weeks ago that we would be coming to market by the end of Q1, being the end of March 2025. And now, given that we're in the end of the first week of March, we are still on track to hit the timing that we suggested a number of weeks ago. I've had a few reach outs about it, people concerned that we may not hit that deadline. All I can say, again, I got to be careful what I say publicly. I've got to put it out in a press release, so I want to make sure that I'm not saying something I shouldn't. But we have made no announcements to the contrary. We are still on track, and we will be making additional announcements as they come along. So we're sitting here at March 7th today, and we still are good to go on that front. There has been some misunderstandings around the medical device establishment license, our MDL, and the process we need to go through there. Zentek already has a medical device establishment license, so we're not looking for a new license. We're simply adding the HVAC filters as a medical device, a Class 1 medical device under our existing license. You will not see that on our license till a date further in the future, as we don't have to put it on immediately. There is a reporting schedule where we have to put it on, but that's only once a year that has to be updated. All we have to do is make sure that the product conforms to all the Class 1 medical device restrictions, requirements, etc. We have to have all the documentation in place, and that's what we've been working on over the last number of months. There was some additional test work that needed to be done, but it was very, very simple, straightforward testing, like end-of-life testing, etc., so that we could actually make claims with respect to the testing on our label once we bring it to market. So with that, we are very happy with where we're at, and the commercialization process has begun, and we will make more announcements to the market as we continue to move forward in that regard. So very, very exciting times for Zentek, and the expansion of the product line and moving internationally. We continue to make great strides in that regard as well. And once we have more information in that respect, we'll make it available to our shareholders and the market in general. The second thing I wanted to touch on was our at-the-market facility that we put in place that we announced earlier this week. That is simply a tool for us to access the market on a tactical basis or on an as-needed basis. When opportunities arise in the marketplace that we may want to place some stock, either to help fund expansion, operations, strategic partners. From time to time, there are strategics that we're talking to that may look to take a stake in Zentek. So we wanted to make sure that we had the appropriate liquidity mechanisms in place so that we could fulfill our needs in that regard. As you may be aware, we have the ability to repurchase shares in the market, so buy shares back, retire, or make the float lower. This is simply the other side of that, where we can issue shares into the market on a tactical basis, as I said. So it's just another arrow in our quiver that allows us to manage our balance sheet and our liquidity more efficiently, and doesn't require the time necessary to put a formalized placement into the market. I had one question around the size. Why did we announce that size? Well, if you recall, we put a shelf in place in the US last year for $50 million. And upon discussion with the investment bank that put this at the market facility in place for us, we landed on $30 million that we would basically allow to happen under this facility. There was nothing more to it than that. This does not mean we're going to issue $30 million worth of stock. It just gives us the ability to issue that much stock should we decide that we wanted to do that at some point in the future. So that is the idea behind the ATM facility. It's really just another tool in our toolkit to be able to access the market and manage our balance sheet. I also wanted to give a quick update on the Albany deposit. This week was the annual PDAC event, the Prospectors Developers Association of Canada event that's held in Toronto, where groups interested in mining or miners themselves, deposit developers, all get together, discuss their projects, etc. The last few years has been relatively poorly attended. Wasn't a lot of excitement around it. This year we saw a dramatic difference. This was probably the most exciting PDAC of the last decade. There was a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of interest in what's going on, particularly in the critical minerals space, as well as the rare earth space. Obviously, that is something that's near and dear to us with the Albany deposit and some of the wonderful news that we've been able to put out over the last month or two with respect to being able to get to 5/9 purity with a relatively simple two-stage approach, as well as the fact that we do have rare earth elements associated with the deposit as well. So there is renewed interest in mining, the geopolitical backdrop, the trade wars that are going on, the tariff wars are all contributing to renewed interest in this. Canada and Ontario recognize how important the mineral sector is to the overall economy and to Canada. So you're seeing significant commitments from both federal and provincial governments to help fund the development of these mineral deposits, such as the Albany deposit. So it's a very, very interesting time. We're also seeing the most interest we've ever seen in the deposit. We had some very, very good meetings this week. We had a contingent from Zentek attend PDAC at various times. I also met with the U.S. Department of Defense. There was a seminar that was put on. So there's a lot of activity going on around Albany right now. So we are very, very interested to see how the rest of this year unfolds with respect to Albany. So with that, we will wrap it up there for this week. We do have additional updates to come on other products and where they are in the development pipeline, relationships, partnerships, updates on commercialization. We'll be bringing you those to you over the next few weeks. So once we have those, we'll get that information into the market. Very, very interesting time, exciting time for Zentek. I think the stakeholders associated with Zentek will be very pleased with where things are going in the coming months. So with that, we will end it there. Please, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to our Zentek channel and be the first to receive the Zentalk updates as they become available. Have a wonderful weekend, and we will speak to you soon.